Welcome to the show. Nick's here.
Ooh, good morning.
Rudy's here.
Whoop, whoop.
Our Chicago Fire won 3-2. Your scoring summary is as follows. 3rd minute, Niko, assisted by Brandon Vincent. 6th minute, Johan Kapoff, own goal. 13th minute, Alejandro Bedoya, assisted by Harris Marin. 64th, Niko from the spot. 78th, Niko, assisted by Brandon Vincent and David Eckham. Your disciplinary summary, Matt Polster, first half stoppage, yellow. That's it. That's all she wrote. Nick, you were there. You were actually at the game.
Oh my goodness, I was.
Your thoughts?
Well, I spent a lot of the time there, like just seeing people during the game. So I had to rewatch it for maximum effect, you know. But it was a kind of a strange game. Started off well, didn't follow that up well, and then just was able to put it together much better in the second half. I thought that Polster and Vincent, of course, had good games. That kind of goes without saying now. I thought that Niko is hopefully getting hot at just the right time. We're finding him better. We're finding him in better spots. He's much more dangerous with his shooting now. So I'm hoping that that's been fixed up and good to go for the playoffs, because we may need to score lots of goals because Lamson will probably concede lots of goals.
Yeah, the lamp did not cover himself in glory. Rudy, what are you thinking?
Well, yeah, Matt was the biggest glaring thing to happen. His mistakes put us in a position that we shouldn't have been. Granted, I thought we didn't play that well in the first half. Niko is the savior at this point. He's, as Nick said, he's getting hot at the right time, and boy, is this the perfect time to get hot. Georgie, I thought first half was okay, but the second half he turned it on. He was very, very good. Kappelhoff, as we discussed in the pre-show, he didn't have his best couple of moments, but he was still out there. He was trying, and that own goal was something weird, and I couldn't tell if it was because Zhao was out of position. He was trying to get there to cover, and then trying to clear it goes in. I mean, it was a shit show, but
yeah,
I'm glad the second half.
He had to make a play on the ball because otherwise the guy directly on the other side of him would have scored. He didn't have a choice. Like, he had to try to do something. I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, to me, I looked at that own goal as like, if he doesn't put it in the back of the net, the other guy's scoring.
Yep. And that Polster yellow card, that was perfect. That was pure filth, because it was a no call prior to that, and he went he went in on who was it? It wasn't Gaddis, was it? Or whoever he went up, Big Colt. He went in good. That was a gentleman's yellow in that case. That was perfect. And I will say this, I had an issue with the ref where Lucho got wrecked in the ankle in the second half, where he was down for a good minute or two, and somehow it was a no call. That was a yellow at the maximum. It was a foul at the minimum. Yeah. I felt the ref in the second half wasn't as great, and the fact that we got to see Arshakian in the second half says how. Yeah.
Unchained and unfrozen. Yes. So I don't think the first half was as bad as it came off, probably in the moment. I watched the first half not live. I watched the second half live, did not see the first half. So I rewatched the first half, or I watched it for the first time. And, there was a spell of about 5 to 10 minutes that were not great, that were exacerbated by the fact that Matt Lampson was not good. In fact, he turned the ball over a couple times he put that one ball out for a corner. What do you fuck, man? The one he put out for a corner, I was like, okay, he's already made his mistakes. Things should be fine. And then he puts the thing out for the corner on a simple pass. And you're like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. So I think most of it was self-inflicted, because that first goal, Lamp's got to be fast. He's either got to come out faster or he's got to stay at his post and force the shot at him, or where he can try to get a hand to it instead of stepping out to it. His step out was too slow. The second goal shouldn't have happened. That was an idiotic move. But otherwise, I thought Jordy was really good in the first half and had an even better second half. The only other negative I really saw in that first half was Drew Connor was late defensively on covers for Dax. That's the only real negative that I saw. I don't know if Philly did a ton with it. They were trying to spring Fafa Picault down the line, and Fafa Picault's not very good. He's really fast, but he's not very good, and he didn't really do a lot with his openings. And he had a couple, but he just didn't do much with them. I think the other things that stood out for me was Mihalovic's second half, which was tremendous. The fact that, David Accam came on and gave 40 good minutes, was clearly not feeling 100%, I thought was a good sign. He worked hard defensively when he did what he had to do. He was laying, if he knew he couldn't get to a ball offensively, he was just laying off, trying to just overexert himself, which I think is actually kind of a smart play, and it's good to see him play smartly, because we're going to need him. I mean, his impact in this game was felt. I mean, he drops back to get the ball to make the pass to Brandon, who makes the final pass to Niko to score goal number 3. And that was a great play. That was all sprung by David, because he just drops. He's like, I'm coming to get the ball, because we were just busy dicking around in the back with it.
Two things to add. One, I don't know if you heard in the broadcast. I did, when I rewatched it a little while ago. They dropped the news that that David said that he's going to need surgery during the offseason on his hip. So
yeah, that had come out already. I'd already seen that.
Had it? Yeah,
and it also explains a little bit more about why he was so like, I need a fucking contract for next year, because he knew his hip. He knew he had issues. So in retrospect, it's one of those things where like a guy just wants to know he's got security so he can get healthy in the off season. So I'm glad the Fire extended him so he can get his surgery. He's going to be here. You're not selling anybody off of surgery, so he ain't going anywhere. I think the other big so the penalty. We have to talk about the penalty. This was the dumbest penalty you'll ever see. So Alan Chapman calls for the penalty, and the player comes to protest. Alan Chapman is disgusted. He is disgusted with the player for forcing him to call this penalty, and he looks at him and he's like, you pushed from behind. And he walks away. He's like, you idiot. He just walks away from him, and the player stops protesting. He's just like, what did you do that for? He was so mad that the guy committed this insanely stupid foul at the edge of the box with the player's back to the goal. He was so mad at him. He's like, I don't want to call that. I thought Alan Chapman was actually pretty good. I know the player you're talking about, Rudy, with Lucho, but Like I felt like Lucho milked that play a little bit, just a wee bit to try to get a break in the action. I don't know if he was feeling some of the other hits because he had a game where he took a beating per his usual. Also, he missed that fucking header off that beautiful pass from Jordy in the first half that he probably should have put on frame.
The reason why it felt like it had the foul was a little stronger than the others, and I thought should have been at least a foul. The play came right back as he was getting up, and you know how if you're milking it, you'll get up and then you'll get onside and then join the play. Now he walked to the midfield and just stayed there. He didn't join the play back up, and he stayed there, kind of giving it a minute or two to try to recover. Because I mean, I've seen him milk it, and he'll get up and just run in after the play. So. That's why I thought at least that.
In the run of play, it felt to me like he was staying down long, but he did take a pretty hard hit. I didn't see a replay of that play. I couldn't really tell if what it was, if it was worthy of a foul or a card. So I will take your word for it that it was. Other than that, this was a very good game, and it was great to see Jordy be influential all over the place. Again, with the silver lining of the Deloya injury is that we look way better offensively. We flow better. We get better passes. Guys are free and moving around.
One thing I'm happy about with the way things are going right now is, well, at least this game shows that they have the will to come back and, you know, fight for that at least a tie and then go for the win. It's something that during that little slump that we had, it just didn't seem there. It seemed like they were just, oh, we're down, fuck it, you know, let's just not get killed.
Well, in many ways, we're seeing the benefits of that slump, right? I mean, Drew Connor, Jordy, Mihalovic had good games. They never would have had those good games, if they wouldn't have got the minutes during the slump. Like, it's just kind of, you're seeing some of the benefits from it. That those guys are really game tested and ready to go.
I think the person that's going to come out the best out of all this is going to be Georgie. Georgie needed those minutes and that real time play just to show what he's got and be confident on the field to, you know, take the risk on a pass or whatever the case may be. And if you fuck up and you move on and don't dwell on it, which is something that kids, at least I've noticed, do. And you just they have to learn to move on from it. And he's doing it.
Yeah, he was good. I really enjoyed his performance. I thought defensively he worked hard too. I mean, we do miss Deloya in the middle of the field defensively. There's no doubt. But it's not what he's here for. He's good at it, but that's not what he's here for. We have like 500 defensive midfielders, guys that's their job. One other thing I wanted to say, I thought Dax's second half was tremendous. He really put his stamp on the game. This is one of the first times I just really recall just watching him sort of take over and just sort of lead the team from his spot. I thought he was just absolutely terrific in his second half performance. So
I agree with you. He's done it in the past, but it's overshadowed by like Schweinsteiger and all that in the past. But now it's showing that leadership is coming from him as well, and just making the passes, putting people where they're supposed to be, you know, being that secondary coach you need and all that goodness.
There's been games that felt where he's disappeared and not done the things we needed him to do. I've been kind of disappointed with him at times this year. And so I was just really happy to watch him go, no, we need this game. We're going to win this game. And just kind of go and put his foot down. Because he really controlled that bottom half, and he got Drew and him on the same page at halftime. Because they were not on the same page in the first half, especially in the first 20 minutes or so.
This is Red Bull Dax that we saw yesterday.
It felt like it. Any further thoughts on this game? Talking points. Who does the goo tin of meat go to for this game for you?
I mean,
Krakus
to me,
goo tin. That is
Krakus goo. It kind of obviously has to go to Niko, but if I could give a second tin out,
sure.
it would be to Georgie.
We'll do three. We'll do three. You can add 3 tins out.
Okay, it would be Niko, Georgie, and Dax. Those three.
Okay. Nick,
Brandon Vincent, I would actually almost give it to instead of Dax, but
don't worry. He'll get his own meat tin. Nick, who's your meat tins going to?
I'll give the Krakus ham tin to Niko. I'll give the turkey tin to Dax. I don't know if they have a turkey tin, but I would think that that's the second tier meat. I know. And then the bologna tin to I don't know, Brandon Vincent.
We're gonna need a list of Krakus products, I think, is what it comes down to.
And then price values as well.
Yes. It's Niko, Brandon, and Georgie for me. Everybody was great. Anyways, shall we move on? Should we talk about the MLS standings or what happened in the league?
Oh my goodness.
League
chaos
was chaos. We'll start. We'll start with the Western Conference because I want you people to understand how bad the Western Conference is. Vancouver somehow is still in first place as they just continue to limp on in as they draw at home against San Jose 1-1. 52 points, 2 points ahead of the Portland Timbers, who won. Seattle won. Portland and Seattle both at 50 points. Sporting Kansas City, they did not win. I forgot what they did. Did they draw? Did they lose? They drew. They drew to Houston. That draw has clinched Houston, Sporting Kansas City, Seattle, Portland, and Vancouver are all in the playoffs. The Earthquakes sit at 43 points, currently in due to most wins. FC Dallas, 43 points, currently out due to the fact that they can't win. And Real Salt Lake had a absolutely hideous draw against one of their main rivals, the Colorado Rapids. A terrible time to be wearing a sweater vest.
No, they lost.
They lost. I'm sorry, they lost. That 1-0. Terrible time to be Mike Petke's. You needed at least a point out of that situation. No points to be had. They're still in the conversation, but it's going to be real hard. Teams that would host MLS Cup over anybody in the East. Vancouver would host over the Red Bulls, who are currently in 6th in the East. That's it. That's it, people. 5th through 1st of the Eastern Conference currently would be winning the Western Conference and feeling pretty damn fine about themselves. So let's go back to our home. TFC won a meaningless game against Canadian rivals Montreal. Now, here's where it gets good. New York City losing 2-1 to the New England Revolution. After Jack Harrison gets a straight red. And by the way, New England set a record for most home wins and yet somehow did not qualify for the playoffs.
Bravo. How many wins is that?
Truly difficult work.
I think
home
that
wins.
I had 12.
I think, 12 home wins. No road wins. Not a one. Nada. 3 draws, 13 losses on the road.
Jeez.
It's bad times.
We know how that feels.
Yeah, not fun at all.
Well, the issue was when we were losing on the road, we couldn't even win at home either. So,
Yeah.
And it showcases if you can't win on the road, you can win all the games you want at home, pretty much. They only lost twice at home. Twice. No playoffs. It's truly an impressive feat of road suckitude. More importantly, City sits firmly at 56 points. Our win puts us 1 point behind them, 55 points. Atlanta drew 0-0 to a New York Red Bulls team that did their best to score and couldn't. And the Crew beat Orlando 1-0 in Orlando on Kaká's final home game. A fitting end to Kaká's time with Orlando. Whew. I can't get over this City Revolution game. I think it's the best thing to happen all weekend, outside of the Fire winning, of course.
just finding out the updates was amazing. We were in the car heading to ROH, and the update I got was they scored 2 goals in the last, or was it stoppage time? Like 90th and stoppage time was the 2 goals, something like that.
New England
1-0.
New England scored a goal
Revolution
in the 90th, and then City scored a useless goal in the 92nd.
Yeah. I was like, what? Still, regardless, it's like, wow, yes, that works out so great for us. Yes.
I can't wait to check out these highlights of these games. This is always the best time of the year when good tacticians get better and teams start to abandon their tactics just to throw bodies forward with reckless abandon, and whatever happens, happens. It's always just wild. Weird goals happen, just filth tackles, because it's all going down. So next week should be incredible.
It's shaping up to be incredible. If you have not watched the City Revolution highlights, I recommend you do. If just to hear, one, they cruelly switched announcers during the condensed highlights and went from Paul Mariner to Janusz Mihalik and whoever calls the fucking game for City. I don't know who that is.
It's atrocious. That's all I know.
It's someone who confuses me often because his name is Joe Tollison.
The mighty Joe Tollison.
Not
Yes.
to be confused with our lovely, beautiful Joe Tollefson.
Yes. He referred to a straight red as a direct red, and I was very confused for a second and annoyed. It's worth listening to. I was like, who says direct red?
Not great. Not great.
Mm-mm.
Just like their stadium situation. Not great.
So let's discuss potential Eastern Conference playoff situations. New York City plays the Columbus Crew next week. This game, I believe, is in Columbus. Is that correct?
Nay. It is
Okay.
in New York, but it is being played at Citi Field. It is not being played at Yankee Stadium. That's why I said that. That comment was directly to that. Because the Yankees are in the playoffs and they made it one round farther than they thought they would. So they need, I think it's 5 days preparation. So effectively kicking NYCFC out of their home to go play at the rival stadium at Citi Field. Now,
Where the
just
Mets
as
play?
a
City Field or
yeah, they're playing they're playing there instead. They're going from one baseball stadium to another.
God.
But if the Yankees make it to the World Series, all the playoff games, I think for the most part, would be played at Citi Field. They've already announced it as well. that if that happens, they're just going to be played at Citi Field for basically the rest of the playoffs.
Well,
So yes, this is the best
shambles.
situation ever.
it's too bad they're not in Hartford. That's all I'm saying.
That would have made it amazing.
That would have been better.
That would have made it amazing.
Okay, so this is at a different stadium hosting its first Major League Soccer game. Columbus at City. This is going to be incredible. Now, I want to paint you a picture, people. Paint you a picture. Columbus could win against City in City, right?
Field.
Sure.
Fire could draw on the road against Houston.
Sure.
That means there's a three-way tie. A three-way tie for second place and the coveted bye. At that point in time, based on what we can find, we have deduced the Columbus Crew will come in second place. Now, Atlanta has to not win to make the scenario happen. So Atlanta has to draw or lose. And then this scenario could happen. In virtue of most wins, which would be 17, if they beat City, they would take second place away from the Fire. Now, I know we sort of gave up on second place. I gave up on second place.
I still haven't.
I'm happy with I'm happy with third or fourth or fifth. I mean, we're just in the playoffs. I'm pleased. But I would prefer second.
I'm just being greedy because you and I called the fifth place finishes for the Fire. So at this point, it's just icing on the cake, and I'll take it. But I want the whole damn fucking cake at this point.
I mean, yeah, like if the opportunity to finish second is there, I mean, yeah, you want that. You want to go for it. But, zooming out, this year has gone a little better than expected for me. So, yeah, I'm also with you, Greg. I am happy just to be here.
Yeah, it's been a long road here. We're just happy to be here. Don't expect much. Now, Houston has not been playing bad soccer either. They've been in the playoff fight. They did what they needed to do. They've clinched their playoff spot. They are still fighting to get to fourth, where they could host a game, potentially. So they're going to be trying to win this game. No doubts about it.
But it is a huge drop. I was just going to say a quick comment is they have dropped off to how they started the season, though. When they first started the season, and they went in a bit of a free fall. They were out of the playoffs a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they're still very tough at home.
Seventh, yeah.
To give you an idea, they are 11-1-4 at home. Okay, they've only lost once at home. They are 1-9-7 on the road. Okay, that's 10 points. They secured 10 points on the road. If the New England Revolution would have secured 10 points on the road, they would be in sixth place in the Eastern Conference, clearly, and the Red Bulls would be like drowning. I'm just saying, that road form is bad, but they did what they had to do, is win that one game and get a whole bunch of draws. Houston's very good at home. This is going to be a very tough game. No question about it. We'll get there in a second. What do you think of Atlanta's potential to win this upcoming weekend?
Who are they playing?
Toronto at home.
No chance in hell. I think Toronto's still gonna. They're not gonna let off the gas that much.
Toronto
They
has
might play yeah, well, the way I see it is they'll rotate players, and those players will show that they're ready for the playoffs as well, and they should be considered to start. So they're not gonna let off the gas. If anything, they might come out even harder on Atlanta than if they had, Josie and all of them. I think at least.
I don't know. I'm not exactly thrilled with the fact that Toronto is basically has no pressure on them to do anything in this game.
Yeah, it seems like Atlanta has a lot more to play for than Toronto, and I would think that they would want to get that last win at home, just because their home crowd, and also for the momentum going into the knockout stage. So I would think that Toronto really doesn't need to exert themselves. They'll play some kids. Their kids are still pretty solid. Probably a much more difficult game than Atlanta would expect from any other B team kid side, but I would expect Atlanta to take care of the business at home.
Yeah, I would think so too. And they're going to pack. I mean, there's going to be 70,000 people in there. I mean, they're going to fill this one up. So, City versus Columbus. Now, I know I painted you the potential three-way tie because I just wanted to illustrate how insane the East is right now. But City versus Columbus. Columbus is on fire. They're the team everybody's talking about is a team you don't want to play in the playoffs right now. How do you think that City versus Crew game at the Mets Stadium is going to go?
I can see it going as a tie. I think that they're both playing for something. Obviously, City's trying to keep that second spot. Columbus is trying to get to the point where winning and taking that second spot from them and us and possibly Atlanta, and they are in form. But I can see Patrick Vieira playing a more let's not get our asses handed to us if we're not going to win it type of deal. So I can see a tie, 0-0, 1-1 around that area. David Villa does his David Villa things and gets one in at least and keeps them tied up.
Right. I think it's going to be a fun game because it's Berhalter against Vieira. I mean, it's arguably, it's two of the top 5 managers in the league going at it. Berhalter stabilizing this team and turning them around in the second half of the season is nothing short of a fucking miracle, if you ask me. I thought this team was done and dusted, and the dirt was being put over his grave, and it was over. He's done a terrific job of figuring out the second half. I'm really looking forward to this game from a tactical perspective, how these two really good managers are going to feel each other out. I think it's one of the other reasons why you just sort of expect Atlanta to beat Toronto, because Gregg Vanny ain't going to show Tata fucking anything. He's going to start the most vanillest tactical choice and go, just fine, beat us. No, I ain't showing you shit. You send your squad of young boys out here to beat me. Those are the two most interesting games obviously from a Fire perspective. Nothing else particularly matters other than the game versus Houston. Thoughts on the Houston matchup, Nick? What are you feeling about this one?
I don't know. I mean, of course, we're going to go out there and try and get the result. We have to. I don't have a choice. I feel like Houston is vulnerable defensively if we can get there, but it seems like both teams kind of want to play the same style where they're going forward quickly and attacking directly. I would think that Houston would want to play out wide to their dangerous wingers, then go inside, so that could have an effect on us for how our fullbacks go forward. So we'll have to watch out for that. But it's going to be a very fun midfield battle as well. So I would think that this would be a high-scoring game and one of the exciting games to look out for as every team is playing at the same time.
I was just cracking on the league, and it's noted devotee to a balanced schedule at all times, which it's not. It's so weird to me. I still can't get over how stupid this entire thing is.
Well, these are all conference games except for ours, because it's the two bottom position teams from last year going against each other. I thought that was a pretty good idea, where if you have to have two teams from the opposite conferences play, just have to be the two worst. So next year we could see DC versus LA on the last game.
Ooh,
Exciting.
that would be delightful. I mean, so you expect to see. Let's see. Did they leave anybody on the bench here? So Kyoto did not start. I don't know if he feels like he normally does start, but he did not start this game against Kansas City for Houston. As he did come in, got 24 minutes. I would expect to see him start this game, and he terrifies me. I'm not gonna lie. Kyoto and Ellis, I think, are both awesome, and I hate to see them on the field together if they're playing the Fire, because they have great pace. They're generally very physical, fast guys who can get forward. And I mean, our wingers, at least our fullbacks, have pace, but we're not very fast. So on the bright side, neither is Kubo. Kubo's not very fast, which is appreciated. I don't know that this team
hasn't been starting either.
No, he started last game. 89 minutes, baby.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm thinking the game prior to that.
Yeah, Rudy, I think towards the middle of the season he wasn't starting much, but I think lately he has been.
I don't know if this is a particularly strong matchup for us in the midfield, especially without Schweinsteiger there to help set the passing tone. I'm assuming Schweinsteiger is not going to play. I'm just assuming we're going to put him in. We're just going to wrap him in bubble wrap and just roll him out, because we're going to have to, most likely, we're going to have to play a midweek playoff game. I think that's the approach you have to take coming into this game. There's too much chaos for the second spot. We are not in the driver's seat for the second spot, so you might as well just assume that we're going to have to play midweek. That's what I would do. So I don't know if this Houston game is a good matchup for us. I don't like their center backs, but but that's just me. Rudy?
Yeah, Ellis is the one that probably scares me the most out of all of them. You should exploit AJ De La Garza. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been great either. You can exploit him a touch. And I would want Schweinsteiger on as a second half sub, just to get the oil running, get the motor going a touch, because he needs it. After that one time he got subbed in and he looked kind of shitty, I want him at least to get some game minutes in, and then the next one, if he's good enough, start him. I just don't want him to be a complete rust bucket that first playoff game, and he looks like shit, and we should have kept dear old little Georgie out there instead. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a chaotic game, and I hope we're ready for it, and I hope our defenders are ready for a bit of a challenge here in this game.
I think we're forgetting one thing that could save us. One point of salvation. One shred of hope. And that is if
Checking.
Felipe Senderos starts.
Woo! That would be tremendous.
He started the midweek game against Sporting, I believe. That game was at home.
Mm-hmm.
He did. I wasn't able to watch that game. I'm sure that there are some great funny moments, but that was probably a midweek rest some guys thing. So I would not expect him to start this last game because, good Lord, why would you? But if he does, that could be our ticket.
That would be great. That would be great. That's a good sign of hope. One other thing I would like to ask. Has anybody asked any questions about Juninho anywhere?
Nope. He doesn't exist on this team, remember?
I'm aware. I'm just curious if we've seen anything in regards to Juninho's whereabouts. I just want to know he's fine and he's okay at this point in time.
Nope.
I don't think he's in space. He's probably on the planet somewhere. That's about all I
mean, I'm
can
sure
say.
he's with the team. I'm sure he's with the team. I just would like to know what his status is. Is he going to play for us again? Ever? Or is he just going to be just like, yeah, we have this really good player. He's just, no, he doesn't. We don't even put him in the 18. That's how good he is. This guy's won everything in MLS. He's literally won everything except for an open. I think he's not won an Open Cup. Or did he even win one of those?
I don't think so.
I don't think he won an Open Cup, but he's won a Shield and at least 2 MLS Cups. He's won multiple trophies in this league. He's great. We could really use his veteran leadership. He's a well-respected guy within the league. He's kind of a big deal, the position he plays in the league. Where is he? Somebody tell me he's okay. I just want to know he's okay.
Yeah, there's been no updates, no injury report.
And if
nothing.
That, I don't think they mentioned his name on the broadcast at all.
They hardly ever do. Even when he plays, his seems like he's an afterthought to people. It's super weird.
It's the strangest thing.
I'm gonna go find him at a practice one of these days. Put a chip on him just to make sure he's in the area. That's all. I don't need to know much more than that.
All right. Predictions. Nick.
Well, as much as I would like to see Felipe Senderos own goals, I think we're going to see a 2-1 Houston Dynamo win. Goal from Lucho.
Rudy.
No Philip Senderos? Philip Sendero goals, Nick?
I said that I would like to see a hat trick of own goals, but yeah, no.
Okay.
So.
No, for me, 2-1 Fire. Niko with 1, Georgie with the second goal. And I just think that it's gonna be a nail biter 1-1, and in the dying minutes, the Fire are gonna get the winner.
Wow. 1-1 draw. That's how I feel about this one. It's got draw written all over it. Now, I'm going to go with we'll just say Niko for the goal because he's the only one that's scoring. Okay. Now let's take a look at the playoff fixture list, because it's insane, and I feel that this needs to be discussed on this show.
Stupid as hell.
Why is there a Monday game? What the fuck?
This league. Okay, so we do all this balanced scheduling, right up to the end of the season.
Bullshit.
Okay. So then Thursday is the first, October 26th is the first playoff game. Okay. There's 2 of them. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. The 27th, there's 2 of them. That's fine. Should be both conferences. There'll probably be one in of each because that's dumb. But okay. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt here. Then we have a single playoff game on Sunday, the 29th, followed by a game on Tuesday, the 31st, followed by one on Wednesday, 2 on Wednesday, and then one on Monday, November 6th, 2 on Monday. So 2, it's all 4. It's 4 on Monday. I don't understand any of this. I assume the 4 on Monday are, I don't know. I no longer can tell you what's happening with this league. I don't understand how these are breaking down. I don't know why they're doing this. The schedule is terrible. You do all that work the last 2 weeks of the season to bring everybody into this tight bubble of balanced scheduledness. And then you say, oh, playoffs are here. Fuck it. Throw it right out the window.
Let's fuck it all up. Yeah, no, this is utterly ridiculous. I mean, we usually do get the midweek knockout game, so that's standard.
That's fine.
Wednesday, Thursday, fine. Yeah, same thing. But then the Sunday, the Monday, the Tuesday. I mean, if you want games during the week, just save it for the midweek. And none of these games are on Saturdays. What's going on Saturdays that you can't host a playoff game or Saturday, Sunday? Is this for TV? I'm assuming it's for TV. I'm assuming that this whole thing is all fucked up because they want each game to be broadcast on ESPN or FS1. And so then ESPN and FS1 will put priority on college football and not MLS. That's my assumption. So
I think that's a high quality assumption.
So then what nights don't have that? Or what nights, aren't prime schedule times for these networks? And it's Monday, Tuesday, and probably, West Coast late Sunday, East Coast super early on Sunday. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a noon kickoff Sunday Eastern time, or a 8 p.m. Western time schedule, just because they're trying to work around football. Not NFL football on a different network, but college football on their own network. That's my assumption here.
Yeah.
But it sucks because now if you're trying to travel for these games, for these away games, and sell tickets, you don't know when you're going to fly out. You don't know how many days off you need to take. They're killing the fan base with this too.
Yeah, it's one of the least fan-friendly live schedules I've seen in a long time. That Monday monstrosity is just insane. That's just insane.
Stupid. It's fucking stupid. That's what it is.
That Tuesday Halloween isn't great either. I mean, if you were to go to that game as an away fan, you would have to take that Tuesday off and probably that Wednesday off, possibly the Monday. I don't know. I mean,
Depends how far you gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not cool. This is not cool. It's not fun for anybody. Basically, they're just telling you to stay home and watch the games on TV, unless you live in the city. And even then, if you live in one of these cities, it could be weeknight games are terrible, especially if they're going to bump the start time up or down to a non-traditional time. I mean, if there's a weeknight Chicago game that kicks off at 7 on a Tuesday, you're gonna have to probably leave work early or just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna take a half day to get there. So it's just like, come on, guys, this is ridiculous.
Then the attendance is gonna suck, and then we'll hear complaints about that. And then for the League Two semifinals, they're all on Sunday. So then that means that ESPN and FS1 is just going to dedicate that Sunday to the League Two semifinal series. So why can't they do that for League One? Why is one leg like all fucked up Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, and then League Two is all Sunday? And then if you played on that Tuesday, that's like much shorter rest than you're getting for the Sunday compared to the other teams playing on Sunday. Doing a Sunday.
You advance, you could have guys getting hurt from that short turnaround to rest. It's dumb. It's so stupid.
So theoretically, you could have a team that plays October 26th, Thursday, win that game. You have to play Sunday, October 29th, like 3 days later, and then Sunday, November 5th. So I would hope that the teams playing on that Thursday would play either Monday or Tuesday. I would hope. But if they're fucking this up this bad, who knows what they're gonna do? I have no idea. They haven't given any indication of like which could be the they have, but like nothing specific as to like which cities can host on what days, which I'm assuming is going to be something that they figure out after next week.
That 3 day turnaround is Liga MX style from a few years ago, where they would do Thursday. You played Wednesday, Saturday, or Thursday, Sunday. You did it for the first, second, and even the semifinals, and then the final would be the two legs. But for a while, it was as well like a 3 day turnaround, or it was week by week, and that's been lately, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but at least that's
so stupid.
But at least it's every team.
And it's consistent. That's
and
the
it's
other
consistent.
Part.
This is not every team. This is not consistent. It's just it's frustrating.
Maddening.
It's so frustrating.
And not only that, may I remind you that there is still an international window in this. So then after the conference semifinals, you're taking 2 weeks off to get to the conference championship, which for the East, one's on a Tuesday, and then League Two is the 28th or the 29th. I don't know. We'll see. And then the West is on the 30th. And then after that, you're taking more time off because the Cup final is on the 9th. So you're cramming a whole bunch of games at the beginning at chaos times, weird days, which in those first 2 rounds, you have every single day covered except Friday and Saturday. And then once you get past that, you're taking like 2 weeks off for each round. This is utterly ridiculous.
I don't understand why they're honoring this international window this year, because there's nothing happening.
I feel like they had to schedule for it, and also for whatever CONCACAF team needs to send their guys out to do qualify
playoff game. Yeah.
So then that would be Honduras, which means that that would affect Houston a lot. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of, now let's move on quickly from the MLS scheduled fuckery to the CONCACAF qualifying. Things happened. Things happen. We are not the group of people that's gonna have you cry on her shoulder about the U.S. not making
I'll laugh at you first.
the World
Oh,
Cup.
I thought you were talking about CONCACAF Champions League. Okay, sorry. Go on.
No, that hasn't started yet.
That's just my first assumption. I totally
No, that hasn't
forgot about
started.
this.
No.
Go on.
So we correctly called the trap game that was TNT versus United States. What we did not get correct was Mexico
Second.
losing and the Ticos losing.
Oh, the Ticos CONCACAF that one up.
I think it's amazing that Panama's goal might not have actually gone in the net, and they still have gotten in. This peak CONCACAF fuckery right there. Peak.
That's why he is San Blas, because San Blas can make goals appear out of no goals. So
oh God. What a night. What a night that was. If you could have only been in some of our text messages that evening, it was a good night.
Filthy night. Yeah.
It was filthy. So for you U.S. national team fans out there, good luck in 4 years. Next qualifying. Good luck in the Gold Cup 2019. You're going to need to win that. I have joined Nick in the not rooting for national team boat. It's a great boat. It's not a boat. It's really like a kayak with Nick and I in it. It's a good place to be. It's fun because everything is entertaining.
It's fun just to take a step back sometimes and watch like super important critical games from a distant perspective and see everyone lose their collective shit and just kind of not be there with them.
embrace the darkness.
Embrace any and all darkness.
Yeah, Nick and I are on the other side of the chaos coin. We are your chaos overlords.
This CONMEBOL and CONCACAF Champions how do I keep wanting to go to Champions League? World Cup qualifying day was one of the best days like that I've ever seen for any international competition. It was absolute best, most fun I had in a long time.
Yeah, let's just say I realized I needed to leave the pub I was at when I was the only one laughing at Tim Howard almost fucking up and scoring on himself. And I was like, ooh, I should go. Probably. This is going to not go over well for me if I keep laughing every time the U.S. fucks up. Because I find it hilarious. And, yeah, I left. It was the right call. Anyways, my condolences to those of you who are hurt and trying to find the most insane solutions for U.S. soccer. Please keep trying. Please keep coming up with more insane selections. I love all of them.
And there are still plenty of wonderful, fun teams to root for.
Like Panama or Honduras.
I mean,
Go Big H.
Seeing the broadcast footage for Panama was just fantastic. It was beautiful.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So
good.
Yeah. So yeah, if you are a US fan, you might not directly appreciate that, but at the same time, it's like that's what life is supposed to feel like. That's the beauty of what we do and why we support what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Hey, and if all you U.S. national team fans want to root for Mexico, you can watch your future coach Juan Carlos Osorio fuck up the Mexican national team, so then you can watch him fuck up your national team too. So do it.
The man just had one of the greatest hexes ever. Ever. And you're still shitting on him. It's incredible.
Hey, I will shit on that man all damn day, and he'll like it.
Guess what? If the U.S.
Sounds
would have hired Bob, they'd be in, because only ex-Fire coaches get to go through CONCACAF qualifying. Okay? Always, like, or
former Red Bull coaches too. Remember,
former Red Bull coaches do count as well. They could have hired Mike Petke. That would have worked. They could have hired the Hammer. That would have worked. They could have hired Carlos de los Cobos. That would have worked.
Oh,
CDC. CDC, baby. He's got CONCACAF experience.
With the big El Salvador.
Yeah. Come on.
The Almighty.
My God. Could have hired Dave Sarakin.
Never change.
That would have worked. If you'd have hired Dave Sarakin, that actually probably would have worked.
All the defensive mids would have a job.
Hey, perhaps we wouldn't have let other teams score goals from like way outside the box. Just saying. Only ex-Fire coaches next time for the U.S. national team job. I mean, I understand it limits your pool, your employee application pool. I mean, Velko's right there. Have him. Take him. Sorry. It's early. Too early for that. We got to wait for after the playoffs. Anyways, I think we've covered the gamut. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
I think I'm all set. Playoffs are coming.
They're coming. We'll be here for you.
It's gonna be wild.
We'll be here for you.
Pay attention to the schedule.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. You might have to drop multiple shows. That's gonna be rough.
Yeah, how do we schedule around this shitty fucking playoff schedule?
I don't know. It's gonna upend our lives.
God.
But we wouldn't have it any other way, right?
Correct.
We wouldn't have it any other way.
In the playoffs. All right. That's the show. For Nicholas.
I'm going back to bed.
For Rudy.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm Gregg. We'll talk to you next time, where I will bring you live observations from Champions League, Europa League, France, and Italy. We'll save that for next time, though. Goodbye.